Okay, here we go. It's that time of the year again. Time to fill out the All-Star bracket. Now, it is a little early, in my opinion. I'm recording this on, what is today? June 2nd. So, a lot can happen over the next few weeks. I know they have, like, different phases. Phase 2, as you can see here, is June 26th. So, a lot can happen over the next few weeks. Guys can go ice cold. Guys can get red hot, vault themselves into a possible starting position in the All-Star game. So, I'm going to do a follow-up on this one. So, I guess we can just call this the early All-Star ballot. So, let's get to it here. First base, my pick for the American League as of right now is Yandy Diaz. This guy has been fantastic. If we go take a look here at the first base leaderboards on Fangraphs, Yandy Diaz is number 2 overall, only behind Freddie Freeman. His offense has been so good and also so underrated. Every time, people think of the Rays lineup, they think of, Randy Arozarena. You got Wander Franco in there. You got Brandon Lau. You even got Josh Lowe in there. But Yandy Diaz, I feel like, doesn't get mentioned enough. He has been so good, hitting .310, a .410 on base, a .580 slugging, 12 homers, 30 RBIs. Not amazing defense, but whatever. He's been fine. He is my guy for the American League. And in the National League, I'm going with Freddie Freeman. This guy's been one of the top players in all of Major League Baseball this year. If we go take a look at the overall leaderboards, Freddie Freeman is number 1 in Fangraph WAR as of right now. Has the best offense as of right now. He's hitting .346, a .420 on base, a .588 slugging, 10 homers, 35 RBIs. He's even got 8 stolen bases as well. Remember Ronald Acuna Jr., he was number 1 on these leaderboards, but Freeman has been red hot lately. He is my easy pick for first base. So for the American League, I got Yandy Diaz, and for the National League, I got Freddie Freeman. Let's shift over to second base. In the American League, this is an easy one for me. I'm going with Marcus Semien. This guy has been one of the best bats in the Rangers lineup. That Rangers lineup has just been scary this year. Marcus Semien has been fantastic. He's number 1 in the Fangraphs leaderboards. He's also playing great defense out there as well. But having a great season at the plate, hitting .295, a .366 on base, 45 slugging, a .134 WRC plus, 8 homers, 44 RBIs, got 7 stolen bases as well. That's an easy one for me in the American League. In the National League, I'm actually going to go with Nolan Gorman. The St. Louis Cardinals, remember, they were really slumping in the beginning of the year, but Nolan Gorman has been a really steady guy for them in that lineup. He's just been so good this year, hitting .272, a .360 on base, a .555 slugging, 13 homers, 41 RBIs. Now, I do like Thairo Estrada. He's been having himself, I guess you could call it a breakout season this year. I mean, my goodness, he's been so good. Hitting over 300, has over a 345 on base. The slugging could be a little better, but he has been great. He's been playing great defense out there as well. But I love Nolan Gorman's bat. I think he is just, again, he's just really carrying. He was carrying that lineup at one point. You're having other guys heat up now. But I just love how steady he has been this year. So those are my picks for second base. I'm going Marcus Semien in the American League and Nolan Gorman in the National League. Third base is a little tricky this year. As of right now, you don't really have like one clear standout candidate for either league. In the American League, you could either go, in my opinion, with Matt Chapman, or you can go with Josh Young on the Rangers. Now, Matt Chapman, remember, he got off to that really hot start, but in the month of May, he did cool down. But Josh Young has been pretty steady throughout the whole season. So for now, I'm going to give the edge to Josh Young because he has been the more consistent bat. Again, Chapman was red hot in that first month, but again, cool down. I just love the consistency of Josh Young as of right now, but who knows? Maybe in the next few weeks, Chapman can just heat back up again. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But in the National League, this one is a little interesting as well. If we go to the leaderboards when it comes to Fangraph WAR, Jeimer Candelario as of right now is number 2 among third basemen in the National League. Not the best offense, but he's been playing great defense. He's been a really solid all-around third baseman. I do think he's going to be an interesting trade candidate at the trade deadline. You got someone like a J.D. Davis, who's been pretty solid for the Giants this year, a .366 on base with a .282 batting average, just under a .500 slugging. For me, though, I'm going to, since there's not really like a standout guy, at least for me, in the National League, I'm going to go with Max Muncy because Max Muncy has been fun this year. He is tied for third in home runs this year, 17. He's driven in 40 runs. He's got a 520 slugging. This guy's been doing some damage with the bat this year. For me, I'm going to go with Max Muncy in the National League, but this could definitely change. Again, like I do like the season JD Davis is having, Jeimer Candelario as well. But for now, I'm going to lean with the power in Max Muncy. Let's go to shortstop. I think this position is going to be really interesting for both leagues as well. Starting in the American League, I think it's going to come down to Bo Bichette and Wander Franco, two shortstops from the American League East. This is really interesting. I think you could go either way. As of right now, they're 1-2 in Fangraph WAR. Wander Franco just in front of Bo Bichette. The difference between the two is Bo Bichette has been the better offensive player, while Wander Franco has been more of the all-around player. Good offense, not as good as Bo Bichette, but the defense has been really good. He has 9 defensive runs saved this year so far. Franco has been awesome at shortstop. He's also stealing a ton of bases, 20 stolen bases. I would say Franco is the more all-around shortstop, while Bo Bichette, this guy's bat has just been off the charts. I mean, look at Bo Bichette's numbers here, hitting 332, a 368 on base, 533 slugging, 12 homers, 39 RBIs. Very good with the bat. I love what Franco is doing at shortstop. So, it's a tough pick, man. It really is. I tend to favor guys that can play some good defense. I love the bat of Bo Bichette. I'm not discrediting this guy. I'm making Blue Jays fans upset right now. I know I am. I'm going to go with Franco as of right now. I just love the all-around game. No disrespect to Bo Bichette. That dude's bat has been electric. I'm just going to go with Franco because I do like defense. Now, in the National League, this is, I would say, even more interesting. Now, Thairo Estrada is number 2 here, but he's not eligible for shortstop. He doesn't have enough starts there. So it's going to come down to a few guys. It's really surprising with some of these guys, guys that have signed with new teams like Trey Turner, Xander Bogaerts, Dansby Swanson. They're not having like these electric seasons. They've been pretty solid, but neither of them are really jumping off the page. Actually, Trey Turner, I take that back. Trey Turner has not been very good this year. I don't know, man. He's still trying to work on some things. Hopefully he can have himself a good second half. So I think it's going to come down to a few different guys here. I think Dansby Swanson is going to be in it. Xander Bogaerts got off to that really good start, but he's cooled off recently. Francisco Lindor is Francisco Lindor, but he's not having the best season offensively. The slash line is a little hitting 220, a 293 on base, 422 slugging, but he's playing great defense. So that, I think, we should don't forget about the defense with Lindor. For me, the guy I'm leaning with right now, I'm just going to go with the leader in Fangraph WAR, and that's Dansby Swanson. When you look at all these guys, he has been just right now the best out of all of them. He's hitting 265, a 362 on base, 412 slugging, 5 homers, 23 RBIs. Lindor does have 10 homers and 40 RBIs, so you could consider that as well. But the defense with Dansby Swanson, it's so underrated, man. He has such a good glove out there. I could see an argument for Lindor because of the homers and the RBIs, but you know what? This is my ballot. If you don't like it, then eat my shorts. But I'm going to go with Swanson. I think he's just been the better all-around player, but I could see Lindor easily winning this thing. Just because it is Francisco Lindor. He is hitting for a bit of power this year. He's driving in some runs. But I'm going to show some respect to the all-around games for Franco and Dansby Swanson. Let's move to catcher and start in the American League. In the American League, I think it's going to come down to Jonah Heim and Adley Rutschman. I think there's a good argument for either of these guys. I really do think it's, chocolate vanilla. I think you could go either way. When you look at Jonah Heim, he is number 2 in Fangraph WAR as of right now. He's playing great defense this year, one of the best defensive catchers in Major League Baseball, but he's also doing pretty solid with the bat too, hitting 282, a 337 on base, 448 slugging. He's got 39 RBIs on the year. That's really solid, but again, playing great defense. With Rutschman, his offense has been definitely better than Jonah Heim. Heim has driven in a few more runs than him. I'm not too worried about that because when I'm looking at the slash line, he's hitting 289, a 411 on base. That's a really good on base percentage. 443 slugging. He's got the 140 WRC+. Rutschman's defense this year, last year, his defense was really good. And this year, it hasn't really been the same. He's not getting as many defensive runs saved. The framing isn't as good as it was last year, at least so far. For me, when it comes to this, I'm going to lean with Rutschman here because that on base for me is just so killer, man. When you got over a 400 on base, man, that's awesome. But with Rutschman, I'm saying that his defense isn't as good as it was last year, but his defense was really good last year. He's still getting the job done out there. He's still playing solid defense out there. He's handling the pitching staff. The Orioles are a really good team. I love Adley Rutschman. I think he just really brings. I'm not saying Heim doesn't, but I just love what Adley does for this Orioles team. I'm just leaning this way right now. His offense to me is just really a game changer. Heim, I know he is having a pretty solid season, but I think Rutschman is just far and away just having a better offensive season. I'm going to lean more with Adley right now. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I know I'm making Rangers fans upset right now. I love me some Adley Rutschman. Maybe it's some AL East bias. I don't know. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. For the National League, this one is easy for me. Sean Murphy. He has been far and away the best catcher in Major League Baseball. He's been one of the best players in Major League Baseball when it comes to Fangraph WAR. I mean, if we go take a look at the overall leaderboards, Sean Murphy is right up there. He's actually ahead of Ronald Acuna Jr. in terms of just the overall game. Ronald Acuna, I can already see the comments. He's saying Sean Murphy is better than Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm looking at defense and offense. Obviously, Ronald Acuna Jr. has been the better offensive player, but Sean Murphy, in his own right, has had a very good season at the plate, but also playing tremendous defense as well. Again, Sean Murphy, number 3 overall in Fangraph WAR right now. This is an easy one for me. I got Sean Murphy in the National League, and I got Adley Rutschman in the American League. Let's move on to the outfield. This is also going to be really interesting. You got to start with Aaron Judge in the American League. This guy has been absolutely fantastic. As of right now, he is 4th when it comes to Fangraph WAR and having an amazing season. On his way to another MVP award if he keeps this up. Hitting .298, a .410 on base, .679 slugging, a .190 WRC plus, 18 homers, 39 RBIs. Aaron Judge, he is absolutely phenomenal. Next to him in the outfield, I'm going to go with Yordan Alvarez. Now, with Yordan Alvarez, he is 9th overall when it comes to the overall Fangraph WAR among outfielders, but when it comes to the offense, he is 3rd overall. This dude just has a presence in the batter's box. He, to me, is the modern day David Ortiz. I would not want to go up against this guy. Hitting .274, a .389 on base, a .570 slugging, 14 homers, 48 RBIs. That actually is tied for 2nd right now in Major League Baseball with Rafael Devers, Adolis Garcia just out in front. Yordan Alvarez, man, what this guy does with the bat, it's just insane. Now, this last one might surprise some people. To me, for me right now, it's going to come down to Mike Trout and Randy Arozarena. Now, if we go take a look here at these two guys, Arozarena, what he is doing with the bat this year he's so good this year, man. And Trout is also, once again, having another Mike Trout kind of a season. I got to lean with Randy Arozarena right now. He is just having the better overall season than Mike Trout. He has a better batting average. He's got a better on-base percentage. He's right there with him when it comes to slugging. A .513 slugging for Arozarena, .514 for Mike Trout. Trout has a couple more home runs right now, but Randy Arozarena has more RBIs. He's got 6 stolen bases. Trout doesn't have 1 stolen base. I'm going to go Arozarena right now. I know it's Mike Trout. I know Mike Trout is going to get more votes than Randy Arozarena. I would think he's going to get more votes. Who knows? Maybe Arozarena could be a really popular vote this year. It's a little weird not seeing Mike Trout in these 3, but could you maybe switch out Alvarez with Trout? I don't know. To me, these guys are just doing so much damage this year in the American League. For the National League, I think this is also pretty tough. If we go take a look at the overall leaderboards when it comes to the outfield, I mean, you got to go with Ronald Acuna Jr. This guy's just having a phenomenal season. He's number 2 right now among outfielders, only behind Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge, what's crazy about him, he's played less games than Ronald Acuna Jr. and is still leading him. That's how good he has been this season. But Ronald Acuna Jr., he's been all over the place, hitting 324, a 406 on base, 554 slugging, 11 homers, 23 stolen bases to go along with those. You gotta go with Ronald Acuna Jr. He has just been fantastic. I'm also going to go with Mookie Betts once again, just having a really solid season. He's been picking it up a little bit as of late, hitting 252 at 358 on base, 514 slugging, 13 homers, 33 RBIs. A very good season here for Mookie Betts. Now, there's a few guys that I think you could go with the third spot. I think you could either go with Juan Soto. I think you could go with Brandon Nimmo, or you could go with a Corbin Carroll. Really, one of these guys I think would be an awesome pick, but I just love Juan Soto. I'm going to go with Soto. This guy has just been absolutely killing it lately for the Padres. The Padres having a pretty down season as of right now. But man, what this guy is doing with the bat lately, it is just, he's off the charts. The batting average is steadily climbing up, but the on base is at a 421. The slugging is almost back up to 500, a 154 WRC plus, 10 homers, 26 RBIs. He's even got 6 stolen bases as well. You know, a lot of people were thinking, oh man, Juan Soto should have taken that contract at the Nationals. This guy is once again on his way to having a really good season. He's always been a slow starter. I knew he was going to pick it up eventually. And hey, once again, having a great season. I think you could go with Nimmo as well. He's been playing pretty solid defense out there. Corbin Carroll has been electric for the Diamondbacks. He's got 16 stolen bases to go along, hit with a slash line of 287, 372, and 511. Corbin Carroll's awesome. I definitely think Carroll will make this team. But man, it's going to be pretty interesting to see how this turns out. So for me, in the outfield for the American League, I got Aaron Judge, Yordan Alvarez, and Randy Rosarina. In the National League, I got Ronald Acuna Jr., Mookie Betts, and Juan Soto. Last but not least, let's talk about the DH in the American League. Who else are you going to go with other than Shohei Ohtani? He's the best player in the freaking universe. He can hit, he can pitch. We all know how amazing Shohei Ohtani is. Easy pick here. He's having a good season at the plate. We take a look at the numbers. He's hitting 267, a 342 on base, 530 slugging, a 135 WRC plus, 15 homers, 38 RBIs. Who else are you going to go with at DH? I mean, Shohei Ohtani, this is an easy pick. Now, in the National League, we got a couple of different guys that I think you could go with. I think you could go with Jorge Soler, or I think you can go with JD Martinez. Now, I think it's going to be pretty close. Jorge Soler, he's having a banger of a season, man. Hitting 249, a 333 on base, a 546 slugging, a 137 WRC plus. He's got 17 homers. He's got 35 RBIs. This guy just mashes the ball. But I think JD Martinez has a really good argument too. He had been hurt a little bit. He's at 41 games as of right now, while Jorge Soler is at 55. But JD Martinez, what he has been doing in even less games than Soler, he has been awesome. He's hitting 278, a 320 on base. That's slightly lower than Jorge Soler, but he's got a 611 slugging. I mean, my goodness, over a 600 slugging. Are you kidding me? A 145 WRC plus compared to Soler's 137. Now, Soler does have more home runs, but JD Martinez has a few more RBIs. For me, when I'm looking at the better batting average of JD Martinez and the better slugging and the better WRC plus, got a couple more RBIs, I'm going to go with JD Martinez as of right now. I'm really liking what he's doing this year. I think you could go with Jorge Soler. That's a fun pick too. But these are my picks. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. I mean, again, this can change. It's only June 2nd that I'm recording this video. So, and phase 2 isn't coming for, another few weeks. So I will do another video, like a final all-star ballot. So we'll have to check back and see how these guys are doing. But this is my ballot. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. But that's all I have for right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.